Come along with me on a quick mum tour. Here we are in greenhouse 34. This is the area of our property where we are growing our 4-inch mums. Our 4-inch mums are a smaller size pot, and the reason for that is these are great for making what we call porch pots or mixed planters, where you have a mum, a pansy, an ornamental cabbage, and kale, and you want to put them all together in the same planter. They have a smaller root ball, so it's easier to put them in with other plants. And these are the same varieties that we grow in the larger sizes. It's just they're being kept small because of their small pots. So if you were to plant these outside at the end of the season in the ground, they would come back the following year as a full-size mum. You might wonder, how do we grow a nice size, full, domed shape for our mums? It takes a lot of work to make that happen. One of the ways that we make sure that they're growing the way we want them to is by giving them adequate spacing. So with these 4-inch mums, we could fit to up to 15 plants in this flat, but you can see here that we only have 6 in them. So we come through early on when they're starting to become a sizable plug. We come through and we space them. If mums are grown really close together, they look good from far away, but when you separate them, you end up having flat sides and sort of leggy stems. So by separating them early on before they start to touch each other, we get that nice even shape all the way around. Here we are in mum bed I. We have 2 sizes in this field. One is our 6-inch mum, so it's a little bit bigger than that 4-inch mum, a little bit larger canopy, as well as a slightly larger root base, but still something that you could get in a planter if you wanted to. These field mums are irrigated with our irrigation system. The water comes through these pipes and then comes out through these drippers, and it drips out the end of this, and this is stuck directly into the root ball of the plant. That does a lot of things for us. It makes our labor of watering a lot better because we're not out here hand watering things, and also mums do not like to have their leaves or flowers wet, so that's directing the water right to the soil rather than getting anything on the canopy of the plant. We also feed our mums because mums are heavy feeders, meaning they require a lot of nutrients to do what we ask them to do. So we actually put a water-soluble fertilizer through these lines as well to make sure that they're getting fed. These are our monster mums, named appropriately because they're our largest mums that we grow. This pot actually has 4 plugs per pot to make sure to fill up and make sure this is one large size. This is also intended that those 4 plugs will grow into each other and make a strong canopy so that when we have wind and rain, they sort of tangle and hold each other together. We also mitigate mums that split because of wind or rain with this green netting that is meant to not be seen, but we have this green grid netting that we lay across horizontally when the plants are smaller so that the stems grow up through, and then when we have those wind or rain events, they're sort of being held a little more rigid and less likely to split apart. Here we have mums in hanging baskets. Not as common for people to want them in hanging baskets. For those that want a little decoration up higher on their porch, we have these available as well. This is our most common size mum, a 9-inch mum. These are planted in a pot that looks nice and is ready to go to be put right on your front porch. You don't even have to do anything any different with it. Here's a good illustration of something that we have to face every mum season, which is pests coming and eating our mums. These little guys in front of me here look a little uneven and obviously quite small compared to what they should look like in the mums around me, behind me. So these would have been eaten early on by probably a groundhog or a deer or a rabbit. We have all the same issues that you do in your garden. But when they grow back, if they get cut back early from those pests, they will grow back like these, but they don't grow back nicely. They kind of get lumpy and small, and then there's big bald spots on them as well. So we deal with those same problems and use a deer and rabbit repellent to try to keep them away as best we can. But inevitably, we have to sacrifice a few every year. You might be wondering, how many varieties of mums do we grow? This year in 2025, we're growing 34 varieties. Now, why grow that many varieties? For a lot of reasons. Number one, we want to have a mum for everybody. We like priding ourselves in the fact that we have a huge selection available. Secondly, we think of mums in about 4 main seasons: early season, mid-season, late season, and season extender. Those refer to when each plant is at peak flowering. Peak flowering is about when half of the flowers have flowered and half are still to flower. Once a mum starts flowering, it flowers for about a month and not really any longer. So we need to have yellow flowering mums that are flowering at the beginning of the season in August and at the end of the season in October. No one variety of yellow mum can do that. So we grow quite a few varieties that span all those colors that we grow and also all those seasons, so that whenever you come, we have a mum that's ready to go.